Auction time. This is the 5L series auction, 5L01. A knife blade, modern type knife blade made from Georgetown type flint. This one is, let's see, 5 1/8. And the back side is not quite as thin as the front side. How I typically make my knives is the back side is more robust and thicker than the front side. I call this the front, the cutting edge. Now I make them a little bit thick here in this area, and I try to keep them very evenly tapered so they don't break somewhere in there in a weak spot. A lot of times these are just for display, but I make them to be used in most cases, so it's strong enough to be used. And I grind it down here all the way around up until this point there. So I grind the stem. I don't grind it heavily, I just take off the sharp edges and I grind it down here. So if you end up holding it and somehow you slip, you're not going to cut your finger on this edge right there. Okay, I think that's it. I like my new phone camera. It's working quite well. One of these days I'll get a nice camera just by itself, no phone attached to it. All right. 5L02. This one is on video. It is the Mite Jasper video. Okay. It is sharp. It did sharpen up well. This one is 3 3/8. Yeah. 3 3/8 inches long. It's going to be smaller than it looks on video. When you get it, my hands are small, so it looks, fairly large, but when you get it, and if your hands are big, it's not going to look large at all. So just be aware. That's why I measure these things. It looks better. It looks bigger and better in the auction video. This video, right? So it's 3 3/8 by 1.5 inches. Okay. Yeah, I did not alter it or mess with it after the video. Sometimes I'll mess with these after the video just to sharpen them up or take out a little dull spot or something, but I didn't do anything to this one. All right. 5L03. This one is just an art point similar to, the Aztec style, I suppose, with, extra notches up here. This is a difficult piece of raw chert. It's like a roadside chert that I collected myself. Now the reason why it's difficult is because it has concrete in it, and that's why it ends up having these lumps in it. See that? But the other part napped nicely. So I made sure there was no concrete here down where the notches are. I napped this off camera just to test out some of the nodules that I had of my self-collected rock. I collected this rock on the roadside in Texas. And yeah, you can find places where there's dirt roads that have flint on either side of the road, just as part of the road fill that they bring in. Okay. Let's see. And sometimes it's good rock, sometimes it's not. And sometimes the rock is already there. Sometimes the flint and chert is already there on the property. 3 1/4, a little bit more than 3 1/4. Anyway, it has lumpy, concretey spots in it. But where it's not concretey, I tried to thin it down. Yeah. It was difficult to nap because of that. And there was inclusions in the other parts of it as well. Okay, all right. 5L04. This is a biface, or a preform, I should say, that I made this morning. I did not have time to notch it or mess with it, so I'm just going to offer it as a preform. This is heat-treated Texas chert. I don't know where it came from. It's probably Paternalis or something similar to that kind of chert. a little bit more than 2 3/4 by, I don't know, it's a little bit more than, it's like 1 inch and 5/16 wide. Let's see what it weighs. 236 grains. 234, 230, yeah, about 234 grains, not grams. Okay, you can mount it just like this to an atlatl dart, or even an arrow with glue. Doesn't need notching. Yeah, you can wrap the shaft to prevent splitting just in case. But yeah, this is excellent quality chert. Excellent quality heat treat. It does get a little crunchy and steppy, so if you do want to finish out the notching and stuff, it will get crunchy and steppy, and it does stall out. So just be aware. You know, you can take a file and restart the notches. That's not a big deal. All right, next one. FL05. It is a Haze Point made from heat-treated coral. Can I get a translucent shot? Yeah, it's heat-treated coral that I got a long time ago from someone that I can't remember who I got it from. Yeah. Anyway, I like making these. Oops, I bumped the camera. Hold on. Okay. I like making these Haze Points. There's a lot of variation and in both design and the size, but it has basically the same design, where it's a diamond-shaped stem, and usually a very pointy tip, but not all of them. Some of them have an arched tip, I suppose. Anyway, I was going to make some of these, more than just one, and some AG points, but I guess I'll have to wait till next week. I didn't have time this week. But yeah, I like making these. This type of heat-treated coral is very crunchy, so I had a hard time making sure there was no step fracturing going on, and I left it a little thick. Yeah, that way that I have enough meat in there to run more flakes in case I end up crunching it and getting a bad step fracture. This one almost became a bad step fracture right there, but it's not bad. Okay. 5L06. I found a piece of alabates in my stuff as I was looking through all my rocks, so I decided to make a Cahokia out of the alabates. And I don't know if it's heat treated or not. It's very inconsistent. The lighter stuff is more difficult to nap than the darker part. It might be a heat treat, but if it is, it's a light heat treat. It's not heavily heat treated. You know, not subjected to long periods of time under high temperature. A heavy heat treat, heavy means high temperature, long periods of time, both of those. A light heat treat is lower temperatures and not very much time in the heat. So the low range averages 350 degrees for 2 to 4 hours. This is Fahrenheit. 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 2 to 4 hours. That's the low range of heat treat that I talk about. The high range of heat treat is 550 degrees or more for 4 hours or more. Okay, I separate everything in the time zones at the 4 hour mark. If it's more than 4 hours, that's a heavy heat. If it's less than 4 hours, it's a light, I should say cook. A heavy cook is more than 4 hours. A light cook is less than 4 hours. The temperatures over 550 is something I cannot achieve in my turkey roaster. But anything less than that, I consider it in the range of lighter heat. But if this is heat treated, it's got to be like 350 degrees to 400, something like that, because it did not nap well through this lighter material. It was really tricky. It was a big, fat, wide piece, and I ended up having to really take it down and then leaving it a little bit thick, because trying to run flakes on the thin material did not work. Yeah, if you try to thin down a thin piece of alibates, you know what I'm talking about. Okay. So yeah, what is the... I didn't even measure. Did I measure? 2 1/8 by a little over 3/4. Most Cahokias are smaller than this, right? The real ones. So it's a pretty good size one. Okay. FL07. This is a Scallon point made of a heat treat. I believe this is... Hold on. Let me think. Where did I get this from? I believe this is a Texas rock, but it's one of those rare Texas rocks that is a jasper. Yeah, and it is a heat treat. I believe this is a jasper, a Texas jasper. Okay. It napped very well, but I can only get these in small nodules. The nodule was only about maybe 2 inches wide. Yeah, it was a little... I had a couple of spalls off a small nodule, and I made one of the spalls into an arrowhead. Okay. I have not been able to do any heat treats here in New Hampshire yet, or in Vermont yet. I will though. 1 1/2. So this heat treat was from Texas. The one of the heat treats I did down in Texas. Okay. 1 1/2 inches long. Again, I like working on these smaller points that have intricate details. I was going to put little serrations, but I didn't. I just kind of sharpened the edge. Yeah. Okay. (5L08). It's a collection of 3 little Washita points. I call these Washita points. Very similar to Toya, but they don't have a central notch in the base. This one is a little over 3/4. This one, 7/8 inches long. Okay, so this one here is made of Georgia chert. I think it's Flint River. Right? No, I don't. This is not Georgia. This is a... let me think here. I don't know where I got this rock from, but I think I've napped a little bit of this on video. I don't know. This was just from a small flake of something I've napped previously. And like, I can't depend on my memory. I don't know where I got this. It's not that Georgia chert. No, it's not Flint River. It's something else. Okay. Oh yeah, I made a Toya from this, and I believe it was in the last auction or the one before. Remember that Toya point with notches in the side? This is a flake that came off of that spall from making that Toya. Okay, little bitty. And this one is a quartz crystal Washita point. Yes, they did make them this size, real ones. And this one is a... it's either Novaculite or a Texas heat treat. I cannot remember. It's either Arkansas Novaculite or a Texas heat treat, or Chalcedony or something like that. I can't remember where it came from. Is it no, hold on. Yeah, I'm not able to access my memory today. I don't know what it is. This, I know what this is now. This is an opal. Yeah, now I remember. Yeah, I had some flakes of opal. That's what this is. So it's very delicate. It naps easier than obsidian. Yeah. So the only way I could remember what it was is I'm trying to remember napping it. I napped it a couple days ago. Yeah, it's opal. Yep. It's not a heat treat. It's just raw. Naps extremely easily, and the opal is not that easy to get. And I'm not sure where it came from. Maybe Utah or something? I don't know. Anyway, the set of 3 is all together under this one item number. Okay. Sorry that one took so long. I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember at all what that was. All right. 5L09 is a box of bifaces with a couple of brokes. So brokes and bifaces. This is obsidian that I got from Danny. It's in the video where I got that gift from Danny. All right. I bifaced it down, this obsidian, and it is kind of crackly and it is snapping halfish. So I didn't want to take it down further than this. I ground down the edges and I was going to do another pass all the way around, but I said, no, I'm going to snap it in half if I continue. So I'll let someone else snap it in half. It is very snap and halfish. Just be aware, okay? Be aware. It's very snap and halfish. 6 inches. Again, these are from Danny. These pieces of Buffalo River. Yep, heat treat. Now, the reason why I'm including them in this batch is because I already took off a bunch of small flakes, and I want to work the small flakes of this. I don't want to work the big bifaces of this stuff. I'll let someone else work the bigger bifaces of this stuff. So it is heat treat. It's high-grade stuff. As far as the heat treat goes, it's very well done. Okay? You might find some inclusions in this. It might give you some trouble, but it should be okay. 4 3/4. 4 3/4. Yeah. It is a little bit dry and crunchy. So just be aware. If you get this, if you're new and you get these and you think you're going to be able to nap these easily, this stuff is for advanced nappers. This kind of obsidian is for advanced nappers. This is an excellent heat treat. It's also Buffalo River. You can knock off really nice flakes on it, but it has inclusions. That's why this one broke. So just be aware. You don't know where these inclusions might be. So this is for advanced nappers. Same with the Georgetown. I did these on video. I reduced these down. I believe one of these is an excellent quality. I think it's this one. This one is a little bit tougher, but I did manage to get it kind of thin. Anyway, just be aware. If you're new, this is not going to be easy to nap, even though they can produce really long flakes if you know what you're doing. And I'm going to include this little broke. See how it took out that bite? It bit it and broke it. Yeah. Yeah, I do percussion on these things. Even at this size, I'll do a percussion strike on them. And I broke it. This is a heat treat. I think this might actually be Georgia chert. But it is a heat treat. Okay? I'll put that in there. And this is the other broke. The others are all bifaces. This one is almost 5. 4 15/16 inches. This one is 4 1/4 inches. And it's like 3 inches wide. I think someone said make an andice, but I don't like making andice. I measured these already. I don't know. 4 3/4. I think I did 4 3/4. Yeah. Okay. Alrighty, that's it for the items. I think I have 9 items. Alright, rules. These are my cheat notes. There's a better description of the auction in the description box below. Yeah. If you're into reading that stuff, there's more of stuff you can read down there. There will be an auction every Monday, no matter what. Yeah, unless I announce it beforehand, there will always be an auction on Monday. And even with an auction every Monday, and even when I leave up the videos, and people can search for auctions on my channel or just type in Jack Crafty auction, you can see all the auction videos. People still don't know that they can bid every Monday on items in my auction. So I don't know what to tell you. Please look at my previous auctions to see how they work. Yeah. If you're not able to reply or comment, you will not be able to bid. I can enter your bid for you if you email me. Yeah, that is an option, but I prefer not to do that because with my luck, your email will end up in a spam folder and you're texting me or emailing me 10 minutes before the close of the auction and want me to enter your bid 10 minutes before the close. And I'm not going to see your email because by some fluke of physics, your email didn't go through. And it's caught in limbo, or it goes into my spam folder, or it goes somewhere where I can't see it right away. So just be aware. I can do this, but it might not work as well as just try again and figure out how things are working. All right? Sometimes it's on your end. Sometimes you don't have a good connection. That's why you can't bid. Okay? Auction 3J has a demo on how to bid. I used my tablet. Yeah, so if you need a demo, just type in Jack Crafty Auction 3J as a search, and you can get to that video, and it'll show you. There's a place on that video where I used my tablet to demonstrate how to bid. Bid in the comment section under one of my pre-populated comments. It's important. Bid under the correct comment. The comments will contain the item number and a timestamp where the item appears in the video. Right? Bid under that one. Now, if you don't know how to do this, if you're new and you just can't figure it out, and you want to bid, just bid in the comments section and make sure you put the item number in your bid, like $15 for item 5L07, something like that. Okay, just write it all out so I know which one you're bidding on, because you might not put the bid in the right spot. Yes, there is a correct spot for bids, and it's under the pre-populated comment that has your item number. Okay, I will like your comment if I see it. That's how you know that I see your comment. Now, the reason why I say that is because not all comments are visible. YouTube has little glitches. You might think you're commenting, but no one else sees it. You see it on your computer and you typed it in and it works perfectly fine, but nobody else can see it, or only certain people can see it, or everyone can see it except me. All right? That does happen. That has happened. There's been an auction where the guy sent me a screenshot that his bid shows up. I sent him a screenshot of mine and his bid doesn't show up. And I asked other bidders, can you see his bid? And they go, yeah. So I was the only one not able to see the bid. Just be aware. If you don't have a like on your bid and it's getting close to the end of the auction, try bidding again. You know, you can bid the same price or whatever. Just try another response and see if I can see that one. I will hit the like button if I can see it. Okay? Yeah, sometimes comments are not always visible, yada, yada, yada. Let's see. Try not to bid at the last minute. Yeah, because there's a few reasons for that. One is to be polite, and the next, YouTube's got glitches. It might not even register your bid on time, right? So the next thing is, please be aware that I'm using YouTube's time tracker. It's not always accurate. Okay, so I know that you know how to bid on time, and you and I both know you're on time. But sometimes YouTube says, nope, you're too late. That's just the way it goes. I got to use YouTube's time because everyone sees that. So just be aware. Last minute bidders, it's kind of risky. All right. Shipping is free in the U.S. International shipping is discounted, but not free. If it's a light package, I add $10. If it's a heavy package, I'll add $20. This is a substantial discount from the actual shipping internationally. International shipping is getting outrageous, and I think everyone's putting on import duties and tariffs and stuff on stuff coming from the U.S. I don't know why, but it seems like that is the case. So just be aware. I will charge extra if you are an international bidder. I will provide tracking numbers. I accept PayPal, which is my preferred payment system. I also accept Venmo, Cash App, checks or money orders, or payment by electronic invoice. I don't usually recommend sending cash in the mail, but it happens. Some people, the only thing they have is cash at that moment. Their house might have burned down and they're living at their cousin's place, and all they have is cash, and they want to bid. It's fine by me. You can send it, but I don't recommend it. All right. Let's see. Winners will be announced at 9:01 p.m. Eastern Time, but pay attention to your time zone because it's different for everybody according to your time zone. It ends at 9:01 p.m. Eastern Time. This is when I check. Winners are announced. It actually ends at the top of the hour. So the auction actually ends at 9 p.m. sharp Eastern, or it ends at 8 p.m. Central, or 7 p.m. Mountain, or 6 p.m. Pacific. That's when it ends. Now, I start announcing the winners at 1 minute after the hour because I wait that 60 seconds and keep refreshing, make sure I see everyone's bid. YouTube's pretty good about putting the bids in order, so I know who's bidding after everybody else. So that's kind of handy to know. Sometimes it's right at the last second when people bid. So I have to keep refreshing to see if those guys are actually on time. All right. So I start announcing at 9:01 p.m. Eastern Time. All right. You will be notified in the comments section if you are the winner. Yep. Please email me your info if you are new. If you've never bid before, you got to email me your info if you win. You don't have to email me anything before the auction to get you signed up. Doesn't matter. But if you win, yeah, that's when you have to send me an email because I don't know who to send it to, or who to charge, or what your real name is if it's different from your YouTube name. Okay, so there you go. That's it for the cheat notes. Yep. Hope you guys had a good weekend. Hope you liked today's items, and good luck.